Live and direct from our News First studios in Colombo. This is Primetime News. I'm Sonali Wanigabadage.
And I'm Nadim Majid. Well, an unprecedented crowd has flocked to the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo to catch the action of the first semi-final of the World 2020 between Sri Lanka and Pakistan, which is currently underway. Now, chasing a target of 140 runs, Pakistan were 22 runs for no loss a short while ago.
That's right. We will be joining Sports First Aaron Rajaratnam for a live match update from the R. Premadasa Stadium later on in the news. But before that, here's a look at tonight's headlines.
Making headlines tonight, geologists commence investigating cracks that appeared on a school building in Siambalandua. An 11-year-old child dies in a fire at a house in Ragama. His mother, father and sister in the ICU. Various parties charge that the Devinagama bill threatens public funds. And in international news, rivals Barack Obama and Mitt Romney face off at the first presidential debate.
A meeting to obtain suggestions and proposals of the farmer community for the 2013 budget was held at Temple Trees today. President Mahinda Rajapaksa chaired the meeting.
Representatives from farmer organizations across the island arrived at Temple Trees for the meeting. The president had said that facilities provided to farmers in the other parts of the island will be provided to the farmers in the north and east as well. The concessions to be granted to drought-affected farmers and implementation of this program were also discussed at the meeting. The President's media unit says that the farmer community had told the President that they appreciated the implementation of the proposals they made last year through the 2012 budget.
And now on to one of our headline stories. The Geological Survey and Mines Bureau says that investigations have commenced to find out what caused cracks to appear on several school buildings in the Kanda Udapangwa area in Siambalandua, Monragala this morning. Now, the cracks appeared after a loud noise was heard in the area. According to the chairman of the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau, Dr. N.P. Wijayananda, no tremor was detected by any of the monitoring stations.
We received reports that a school building in the Kanda Udapangwa area in Siambalandua had developed cracks at around 10:30 am this morning after a loud noise was heard in the area.
We heard a blast, then we ran out of the classroom.
There
are cracks on the wall. They are getting bigger. It was like an aircraft. After the sound, there were cracks on the wall.
According to the chairman of the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau, Dr. N.P. Wijayananda, the team which was dispatched to the area to investigate the minor tremor that was reported last Saturday has been assigned the task of probing this incident as well. He said that a conclusion could be arrived at once the initial investigations are completed. A minor tremor was reported from the area on the 29th of last month. The tremor originated 15 kilometers northwest of Monragala and 3 kilometers southeast of Alangmulla. This is incidentally the fifth tremor reported in the country this year. Tremors were felt in the Haputale, Badulla, Bandaravela, Nurelia, Pidrutalagala and Mahayangane on the 20th of May. Meanwhile, on the 26th of May, a tremor was felt in Colombo, Kalutara, Padiyathalava, Hatton, Ratnapura, Kandy and Nurelia. Several areas including the Maduru Oya National Park experienced a tremor on the 28th of August, while the Padiyathalava area experienced a similar tremor on the 15th of last month.
Warning of impending danger. May 2012. Two minor tremors felt round Nurelia. August 2012. Minor tremors reported 19 kilometers from Padiyathalava. August 2012. Minor tremor in the Maduru Oya National Park. September 2012. Minor tremor reported in close proximity to Padiyathalava. September 2012. 2.6 magnitude earthquake reported from Monragala. The number of tremors being experienced on the rise. Emeritus Professor Kapila Dahanayaka. What is the reason for the increasing number of tremors? Have steps been taken to create public awareness? Isn't it important to be prepared to face any danger?
The trade union action launched by the Federation of University Teachers Associations entered its 90th day today. Both parties have held protest walks, media briefings and discussions. However, they have been unable to reach a consensus. In such a backdrop, the Minister of Higher Education held a media briefing yesterday, while FUTA held one today.
This group organized a meeting at Hyde Park even when they were engaged in discussions with Minister Basil. We need to tell them that we are ready to allow them to meet the Minister and the Secretary to the Ministry of Finance and resolve this issue.
We received information to that effect today. We will not be holding arbitrary and unorganized discussions. However, we are preparing to hold discussions in the future.
නමුත් මම හිතන්නේ ඉදිරි දින කිහිපය තුල එවැනි සාකච්ඡාවක් සඳහා සූදානමක් තිබෙනවා.
When taking a look at some of their demands, even they feel ashamed. There is one request to pay rent of houses. They demanded a full allowance, an allowance to pay their telephone bills and an allowance for 2 of their children to be boarded at private schools.
Any trade union action is based on demands. They are fair demands on our part. Nothing will happen to us even though they sling mud. We are coming forward this battle for the general public. However, you need to remember that we do not base our battle on public opinion.
මහජනයා තුල අපි ගැන තියෙන ප්‍රසාදය මුල් කරගෙනම නෙමෙයි. අන්න ඒක හොඳින් මතක තියාගන්න.
The university teachers put their demand for higher salaries aside and brought out the 6% of GDP for education issues. When you combine the total amount allocated for all ministries related to the sector, it comes to around 5%.
The minister is doing something like this. Imagine calculating the amount being spent for child's education. My wife buys a CR book for her needs and I buy a similar book for my needs. You cannot include these costs into the amount being spent for the education of my child.
As the trade union action dragged on, we were able to see that a small group with ulterior motives were controlling the university teachers. There are some people who believe that the next leader of the country will rise from the struggle.
එයා එක එක වෙලාවලට ඔළුව වනනවා එක එක වෙලාවට නකුට වනනවා ඊළඟට අනික් වෙලාවට උඩු බුරලනවා අනිත් වෙලාවට උඹෑ කියනවා අර මට කියන
They ask us where we live and when we tell them it is easier for them to dispatch a white van to our houses.
ඉන්න තැන දැනගන්නේ අපි කරන වැඩේදී නවත්තන්න අර සුදු වෑන් එකේ වන්න වාහනයක් එනවා. ඉන්න තැන දැනගත්තාම හරියට හැරත පැලෙන් එවත ඇගිනේ.
ඉතාලම පැහැදිලිව තියෙනවා මේ වැඩපිළිවෙල පිටපස්සේ ඉඳගෙන විපක්ෂයට අර
It is very clear that the weak opposition, which cannot stand up on its own and achieve an election victory, is attempting to gain some mileage through this. They have aligned themselves with foreign organizations and are attempting to destabilize the country.
A government can be described as good if it is able to resolve the issues in a country in a peaceful manner. There is an issue with regard to the university system in this country, but this government has been unable to resolve it even after such a long period of time. The inability to resolve this crisis displays their failure as a government.
රටේ විශ්වවිද්‍යාල පද්ධතියේ තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නයක් මේ තරම් කාලයක් ගත වෙද්දි විසඳන්න බෑ කියලා මේ විසඳන්න බැරි වීම ඒක ආණ්ඩුවේ අසාර්ථකභාවය පෙන්වුම් කරන දර්ශකයක්.
An 11-year-old boy who suffered burn injuries in a fire that broke out at his residence down Thewata Road in Ragama died this morning. A hospital spokesperson said that his mother, sister and father, who also suffered serious injuries, are receiving treatment at the intensive care unit of the Ragama Teaching Hospital.
A fire broke out in this house located down Thewata Road in Ragama early this morning. Mother, father, daughter and son of the same family who were in the upper floor were injured in the fire. Area residents had managed to douse the fire and rushed the injured to the hospital. 11-year-old Shehara Mendis, who suffered serious injuries, died while receiving treatment at the intensive care unit of the Ragama Teaching Hospital this morning. Both the injured parents are 35 years of age and the injured daughter is 9 years old. I live in this house with my husband, son, daughter-in-law and the 2 children. When we were sleeping, we heard a noise and we saw a huge fire in the middle of the house. We tried to douse the fire with the help of the neighbors. Although an electrical short circuit is believed to have caused the fire, this has not been established as yet. The police said that the government analysts inspected the house this morning.
A petition filed by Tamil National Alliance parliamentarian Mave Senadiraja in the Court of Appeal challenging the statement made by the Governor of the Northern Province approving the Divinaguma Bill on behalf of the Provincial Council has been referred to the Supreme Court. The decision to refer the petition to the Supreme Court was made when it was taken up for consideration before Chairman of the Court of Appeal, Justice Sri Skandaraja. Governor of Northern Province G.A. Chandrasiri has been cited as the respondent in the petition. The judge decided to refer the petition to the Supreme Court following submissions made by both parties stating that hearing of the petition would require an interpretation of the Constitution. Court informed both parties that the questions raised by them and the questions raised by the bench would be referred to the Supreme Court along with the petition for interpretation.
The Divinagum Bill was referred to the provincial councils following a Supreme Court decree that it needs to be passed by all provincial councils prior to being tabled in Parliament. It has now been passed by all the constituted councils. The Department of Government Information stated yesterday that as there is no council in the Northern Province, approval for the bill was granted by the Governor of the province, G.A. Chandrasiri. The Department of Government Information stated that as such, the Divinagum Bill has been approved by all provincial councils.
මෙතන තියෙනවා බිලියන් 55. කෝටි 5500ක් විතර ප්‍රමාණයක් මේකේ තියෙනවා. අනිත් එක
There is 55 billion here. It also specifies maintaining secrecy. This is an astounding story. They will take all this money as well. They say they will take everything under their control and do whatever they see fit. But no one can say anything about it. But since the approval of the 9 provincial council has not been obtained, I do not know how the Supreme Court will decide on this. Whether this will be tabled in Parliament or not will be based on the Supreme Court's decision.
එතකොට ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨාධිකරණයේ තීන්දුව අනුව තමයි මේක නැවත පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට එන්නේ.
There is no Northern Provincial Council, but we cannot forego a program for the entire country just because there is one missing provincial council. This Divinagum program is a program that rips off the Samurdhi money of the Samurdhi beneficiaries in broad daylight. While we respect the law and the judiciary, we will proceed with the Divinaguma Bill as provided for in the Constitution. Even Rauf Hakim said that the governors had brought members of the army and placed them all over and that he will take measures to remove them. Rauf Hakim, who said all this, is now abroad. His secretary says that he has not looked at the Divinagum program and that they are still discussing the topic and are yet to reach a decision. They are trying to destroy this country by bringing all the money under one single ministry. They are trying to take away the power of the provincial councils.
In other local news, the Bodubala Sena organization staged a protest march today to condemn the various forms of pressure being exerted on the Buddhist community in Bangladesh.